a doubt around. Okay, now, do you have musical taste? You think so? Okay, now, I would say, could you give me an example of it? Are you Mozart? Requiem. Okay, you like the Requiem. Now, I'm not being nasty. What do you like about the Mozart Requiem? Because now she's, by answering, she's going to illuminate me and show me how she has musical taste. Okay?
I like the fact that every time I listen to it, I can feel
Every time I listen to it, I can feel
the passion.
the passion. I see. So, that's what you like, feeling his passion. His emotion. Okay. What's your favorite part? Okay. Try this. Do you think it's important to be informed before you can have an opinion? How much information do you require, before you arrive at an opinion?
Not much.
I think I said that. How much?
This much.
Right? Enough. Enough. That's one word does it, right? Enough. Now, enough for you may not be enough for her. May not be enough for her. But as soon as we find out how much you have, then we're going to know the depth of your taste. Your taste can be superficial. It can be self-serving. It can be borrowed. Borrowed taste? Oh yeah, I think that's called adolescence. How many of you understood what I just said? How many of you have been the victims of borrowed taste? Of course. Now, is it possible to be born without taste? No. I have had 5 children. And I now have a 10-year-old son. And he's mine. And I've noticed again, for the 5th time, that children are drawn to some things and repelled by others. You put 2 balloons in the crib, the child will choose the pink one rather than the blue one. Why would they choose one rather than the other? His taste. Now, suppose you reward the child for the blue one, because after all, pink is for girls and he happens to be a boy. Now what begins to happen to the colors? Are they going to reflect his taste, or is he going to begin to respond to where the warmth is, where the reinforcement is from you? Exactly. He's going to be saying he likes blue. Why? Because as much as he likes the balloon, what does he like even more? Now, are you beginning to see where I just might be going? Isn't that sneaky? Well, let's get back to music. Got it? So now, if music is the same sort of thing, and you are rewarded for responding favorably to this, as opposed to that, you can't be silly enough to believe that that reflects your personal taste. You have been manipulated, you've allowed yourself to be manipulated by who? The society in which you live. Therefore, it's been my observation with many of my students is that they have all the mechanisms for taste, but that they have never found it to start with, and that have never taken the time or the courage to develop their personal taste. What they reflect is the society or the circumstances under which they find it. Anybody find that interesting? No. 2 or 3. Anybody find that uninteresting? That's interesting. You're like a lot of the politicians in Mississippi. One third of you responded, and the other sat there on your ass with your arms crossed, thinking, oh, well, I don't have to respond to this man. You're absolutely right. The eunuch you were born may be the eunuch you die. You understood what I said. Why don't you explain it to them?
You're devoid.
Yeah, but if you cannot respond, I can't stimulate you. You're perfectly happy not to be stimulated. And what's more, you're not going to be stimulated by him or anyone else. You'll show him. I dare you to be interesting. Okay, now, as a composer, I have certain problems because what I love to write has always been something that very few people really respond to. My other life as a jazz musician, I found there were a great many more people who were interested in that. But with the birth of that particular fellow named Elvis, that was the end of jazz. And what was to happen is, as many of you have discovered, is that the face of music, as I might have known it, or your parents may have known it, has disappeared. And so you're out there now being for or against kinds of music. Let's see what you're against. It's easy to assume that what you embrace is what you're for. What music do you hate the most? And you will take active action to do what you can to discourage it. Who would like to start? Yes?
Scream like really loud, like hard rock.
Hard rock, okay, hard rock there. How many agree with her? 2. All right, so something else? Yes.
Rap.
Rap. How many of you agree with her? Okay. 2 kinds. Another? You said?
Country music. Country music.
Country music. Okay. You see? The discussion is closed. It's now become, it has become an emotional issue. She somehow thought you were talking about her. Well, actually, you weren't even looking at her. Talk about self-interest. All right, what about you, sir? What do you... Right, okay. Yes.
Make love to the record. Bach.
Bach. B-A-C-H? All right, now what is there about Bach that you would like to discourage?
There's a lot about Bach that I'd like to discourage.
The fact you can't play it? And that may not be the issue, but you can see how that might have risen to my mind. What is the real reason that you would like to discourage anyone doing Bach?
It's just not as interesting to me as I prefer Beethoven much more.
You prefer Beethoven?
So, personally.
Okay, now, will you stay with me just a minute? Okay. I would presume that you have spent as much time with Bach as you have with Beethoven. And upon careful analysis of both, you have come to an informed opinion that you prefer Beethoven to Bach. So far, so good? Why? I'm with you so far.
Because I find the melody lines in Beethoven more attractive.
Very good. She finds the melody lines in Beethoven more attractive. I understand that. I thought you put that very well. I have no problem with it. I could disagree, agree, but it's irrelevant because what you did is you identified what it was you found attractive or unattractive, and you named it. You can't beat that. Good for you. Okay. Now that's all it's really about. And I've been told that I'm about to finish. So before I go, how many I'm going to ask the 3 dumb questions. And I would hope that all of them have something to do with the kinds of things that I've done to try to annoy you this afternoon, intellectually. Would you like to ask me a zinger? Come on, get that S. Let's hear the zinger, yeah.
It's not a zinger, but it's a good question. Do you like baritone saxophone or E-flat contralto clarinet better?
The E-flat alto. I like it better.
It's on tape.
It doesn't have to. All you have to do is look at my scoring. Next. That was a very good question. It wasn't very dumb.
What do you like about music?
What do I like about music? Is it like sex? I can't live without it. How about you? Mom was going to say, so what did that man say? Oh, Mom. All right, got one more. All right, so
Would you
and
actually,
I'll find one from you too.
would you actually discourage
any type of music?
I discourage any music that is anti-art.
What would you?
Art, anti-art. We are in a period now where all of the art music since the dawn of man is at war with contemporary music as you know it, which, as I have been told, is worthless because it's written by old, dead white guys. You don't know that? And also it's old-fashioned. So that's the only thing that I have problems with. You saw.
Why shouldn't, or do you think rap should be taught in public schools?
I don't think rap has to be taught in public school. Neither do going to the bathroom need to be things we teach. They don't teach it. What you have done is you've bullied them into talking about it so that they won't have to deal with something that you find uncomfortable. Because as you discovered and why you dislike some of your teachers, you've allowed them to manipulate the material. And you know what you're doing, and they have no idea the contempt you have for them. Now, I may be right, but then again, I may be wrong. But if you think about it, maybe you could come to what kind of position? A person. Have a nice day and enjoy music.
I told you he was a wild man. I gave you fair warning. You could have got nothing left. And I say he's a wild man. Everybody goes, okay, this will be good. You get a little sampling of it. I had the privilege of traveling, not still on that, I did travel in Italy for almost 2 weeks with this one. I wasn't sure where I was sometimes. He's like, well, what's he talking about? Because he's always at the top of his game, intellectually, and inquisitively, musically, and so forth. So we're very fortunate that A, we have people like Mr. Zaninelli in our profession. And secondly, that we have him here with us today and willing to, at different generations, speak to you and challenge you and be vital and important to you. So, thank you for being here. You had a chance to go by and say hello to our thank you, Mr. Zita, and talk to him. Harbor View Room is our reception. Enjoy. Thank you for everything. You're great.
We are